Welcome everyone to the Coach's Corner Academics Edition. John Stanko here with Rory Redmond, Associate AD for Academics. Rory, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Just first question, how are you handling all of this? How's the past month or so been for you? Obviously a very unique scenario for everyone, but especially yourself in the academic world.
Sure. So I'm doing good. Just trying to adjust to this new normal. Trying to stay busy, trying to get out and get myself exercising and things like that as much as possible, stay active, and just be here for the students and make sure that everybody's doing what they need to do to be successful in the classroom right now.
So what does a typical day look like for you? When you get up in the morning, obviously you got to have your coffee. That's number one. That's what we all live for right now. But what do you do after that? What's your typical day like?
Sure. So typically I've been meeting with students throughout the day, mostly via Zoom meetings, but really any way that I can stay connected with the students. So if that means phone calls or FaceTimes, anything that I can just be in contact with them. So a typical day, can consist of anywhere from 4 to 10 Zoom meetings with students. Also just trying to stay connected to everybody in the department. So conference calls, Zoom meetings with the department, taking notes on all my meetings with my students, making sure everything's documented. And then of course, answering any emails that come in, reaching out to students, trying to help with registration, summer classes, really anything that can come across my desk on a regular day. I'm just trying to take care of from home.
So you're an expert on the Zoom meetings. Is there a fantastic background or backdrop that you've seen in all your Zoom meetings that sticks out? One that you think was really funny or really sticks out?
I can't seem to get the backdrops to work on my computer, which is upsetting me, but I have had a few students using them. My favorite so far is the Northern Lights. I had a couple students with the Northern Lights on there, so that was really cool.
All right, so when you're talking with all these students and with the various members of administration as well, what's kind of been the unifying message that you and your team in academics have been pushing out to everybody?
Sure. I think the main message right now is to focus on academics because, the student athletes, aren't able to work out as a team. They're not on campus and they don't have all these other priorities. It's really important to focus on your schoolwork and get all your assignments done, turn things in on time, prepare for any tests or any other, major projects or assignments that you have coming up. So really the main message here is to use this time to focus on your academics and get your grades as high as possible for this semester.
All right, so academics is the focus. Now, how do you motivate your students? You said you had 4 to 10 Zoom meetings a day. And I can tell you motivation is tough with this. I think this afternoon, the day we're recording, is supposed to be a rainy, thunderstorm, terrible day. And so how do you motivate yourself when you're locked in a room staring at a computer all day? Do you have any advice that you give the students?
Sure. I think especially right now, the main thing to do is to see the light at the end of the tunnel. We have a month left of school, and if you actually look at the school days left, we've got 13 school days left.
That's
it? We've got 13 class days left, and then we've got 18 days, including final exams. So, students aren't the only one with the countdown. I think everybody's kind of counting down until this is all over. So just see the light at the end of the tunnel, grind it out for these next few weeks, and hopefully everybody finishes strong.
So there's a lot of adjustments that have been made. What do you think has been the toughest one for the students and for yourself during this time?
Sure. I think probably the lack of face-to-face interaction for students with, their teams, their coaches, their professors. I think that, the professors and the administration is missing that face-to-face interaction, and I think the students are missing it as well. We can talk on Zoom and on FaceTime as much as we want, but nothing beats, a student coming into your office or going to office hours and just sitting there, reaching out for help that way. I think it's a lot easier to learn in person and, just connect with your professors and everybody else that way. So I think that would probably be the biggest challenge. Of course, there are always challenges with connecting and Wi-Fi issues and, getting onto Blackboard or things like that. So that always comes up as well. But I would say that the main challenge here is the lack of, face-to-face interaction.
You mentioned the professors. Do you have direct contact with the professors when talking about the student athletes and how they're helping each other, the student athletes helping the professors, making sure they get all the information and stuff like that? How's the communication been in that regard?
Absolutely. Communication has been good. Professors are always available. I've been included in a few Zoom meetings with a student and a professor. Usually professors are great with email, so contacting them via email is kind of my go-to. Um, I think that the main thing that we need to all realize is that everybody's dealing with a lot of different circumstances than they usually are. So professors have young children at home, and they're, homeschooling. They're also teaching their classes. So sometimes I think that we can all get a little antsy if we don't hear back from professors right away. But as long as you're being patient, professors are getting back to myself and the students as quickly as they possibly can. And they've really been great with following up and giving feedback and things like that. So, it's, while it is difficult that we're not on campus, I think that the communication with professors and with students is, has been really good.
What's the one thing you missed most about being on campus and the face-to-face interactions that you said were so important? What's the one thing that you really wish you had back in your life right now?
Yeah, I think with these online Zoom meetings, they're quick meetings. You're mainly focused on the academics. You don't really get to build that personal relationship with both the students and coworkers. I know that, I think less than 6 months here at Iona. So I never expected my first year to be working from home most of the year. So I miss just getting to know everybody, the banter back and forth with the students and with coworkers, I think is the thing that I miss the most.
I definitely miss that banter as well. Let me tell you, I miss the powwow sessions in the hallway.
Exactly.
So you're 6 months into Iona. You mentioned that you're new. I'm sure there are other academic people across all the NCAA who are in a unique scenario like you. So have you talked to other academic advisors, people who you've worked with before, people at other schools, to kind of maybe just get like strategies that you guys have used to ensure you get the most academic wise out of the student athletes?
Yeah, absolutely. Right before we all went off campus, we did have a conference call with all the other academic advisors in the MAC, which I think was great. It was a great way for us to share ideas of what we were thinking about doing. It was a great way to share ideas about what other schools were planning to do. So that really kind of set us off on the right foot. It was really helpful. I think everybody shared a lot of great ideas at that point. Since then, I've been working very closely with Sarah, with Jamie, with Matt. The support has really been fantastic, just from a department-wise on our end. And we have reached out. We'll have some random communications, some emails with other advisors, just if we have questions as to how they're operating and how they're handling some situations.
So before I let you go, do you have any pieces of advice that you'd like to share with Gael Nation, whether it be for myself, like a coworker of yours to keep me motivated, or to student athletes to show them the light at the end of the tunnel? What piece of advice do you have?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the first thing, and this has, kind of been my message throughout the whole quarantine, is, to try to plan ahead. So, at the beginning of each week, whether that be on Sunday or Monday, look at all your assignments, check your Blackboard, check your emails, and come up with a list. Some people like to use planners, others like to make to-do lists. Just write everything down so you have everything listed in one place. That way it's not as hard to forget assignments. The second thing is try to stick to a schedule. I know during these quarantine times, it's very easy to stay up binge watching a show until 3 a.m. But try to stay as much as you can to a schedule so that you're getting enough sleep and that you're able to get up for that 8 or 9 a.m. class. And then the last thing is definitely don't forget to reach out, or don't feel scared to reach out for help. If you're having issues with anything, please make sure you reach out to your professors, reach out to myself or Sarah, or your coaches, whoever it is that you're comfortable talking to. If you have any questions, or if you're having trouble, you're struggling with anything, let people know so that we can help you.
That's some fantastic advice. So Rory, I really thank you. Rory Redmond, Associate AD for Academics at Iona. Thank you for the time and best of luck with everything. You're doing a fantastic job. So you got 18 more total days left, so you can do it. You can get all the way to the end.
Exactly. Go Gaels.